Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep and distilling 3 decades of hard-won trading wisdom into a powerful playbook. We're going to look past the charts, past the noise, and get right to the core principles that really separate the pros from everyone else. So let's just start right here with an idea that might sound a little backwards. But this one sentence, if you really let it sink in, completely changes the game. It forces you to shift your focus away from chasing profits and towards something much, much more powerful, your process and your survival. If you get this right, trust me, everything else just falls into place. Here's our game plan. We're going to break this down into 5 core lessons, and each one builds on the last. We'll start with your foundational mindset, move on to reading the environment, then mastering your own psychology, and finally, we'll boil it all down into a set of rules you can live by. Okay, let's dive into what is, without a doubt, the single most important concept in trading: capital preservation. Seriously, before you can even think about making money, your number one job is to make absolutely sure you don't lose the money you already have. Now, this right here, this isn't a guideline. It's not a friendly suggestion. It's a non-negotiable law. The source material is so clear on this. Traders don't blow up their accounts because they're not smart. They blow up because they lose control of their risk. This rule, this is your shield. It's what keeps you in the game. And here's why that survival is so critical. Your job isn't to step up to the plate and hit a home run every single time. No way. Your job is to just stay at the plate, day after day. Because if you can avoid that one catastrophic loss that takes you out of the game entirely, you give the incredible power of compounding the time it needs to work its magic for you. So where do we go from here? Okay, we've secured our capital, we know how to survive. Now we need to understand the field we're actually playing on. You see, the market isn't just a random chaotic mess. It has a rhythm, it has a pulse. A veteran trader sees the market for what it is: a constant rotation between these 4 distinct phases. And this is so important because your strategy cannot be static. What works beautifully in a roaring bull market, that expansion phase, will get you absolutely killed in a contraction. The real key is to recognize what environment you're in and then adapt your approach. And this table just illustrates that contrast perfectly. In a bull market, you get paid to be aggressive. You buy strength, you let your winners run. But in a bear market, sometimes the most profitable move you can make is to just sit in cash. Your primary job literally shifts from seeking profits to aggressively defending your capital. Oh, I love this quote. It's such a key insight. Market tops tend to be these slow, drawn-out affairs. They form over weeks, sometimes months, as conviction just slowly drains away. But bottoms are often sudden, violent, panic-driven events. Understanding that difference helps you manage your expectations, and frankly, it helps you avoid getting chopped to pieces. All right, we've talked about the external market, but now we have to turn inward, because the most important and by far the most difficult factor in your success is you. The market is a battlefield, and a lot of the time, your own mind can be your greatest enemy. So how do you fight that inner battle? You don't guess. You don't trade based on a gut feeling. You use a tool. A veteran trader uses a simple, repeatable formula to mechanize the decision of how much to buy. What this does is it removes ego, fear, and greed from the equation, and it ensures that every single trade you take has a predefined, acceptable risk. Now, what's so fascinating about this slide is the fundamental shift it highlights. You see, the novice tries to predict the future. The veteran simply reacts to the present. The market is an absolute expert at exploiting our human weaknesses, our ego, our impatience, our desperate need to be right. A pro learns to let all that go and just focuses on managing probabilities and reacting to what's happening right now. And here it is. This is the ultimate mental breakthrough for any trader. Profitability doesn't come from having a perfect win rate. It comes from how you handle your losses. A string of small, controlled losses is totally fine, as long as it's punctuated by a few large wins. It's that one big, uncontrolled loss that can end a career. So let's zoom out a bit. Beyond the day-to-day, the short-term ups and downs, real generational wealth is built differently. And this requires a pretty big shift in perspective, moving from renting stocks as a trader to owning great businesses as an investor. A veteran investor isn't buying into the hype or chasing hot story stocks. No, they use a strict business-focused checklist like this one. They're looking for durable, cash-generating machines that have a real competitive advantage. We're talking about companies that can compound wealth year after year, completely independent of all the daily market noise. Okay, so after all these lessons on survival, on market cycles, on psychology, it really all comes down to this, a simple but incredibly powerful set of rules that can act as your constitution, your guiding light in the markets. These 7 rules are basically the synthesis of everything we've talked about. You see it, right? Rule number 1 is our survival principle. Rule 2 is all about humility. Rule 6 is a direct callback to those market cycles we covered. And Rule 7, well, that's the ultimate goal, letting time, not adrenaline, build your wealth. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most profound takeaway of all. The market will find your personal flaws. It'll find your impatience, your fear, your greed, and it will use them against you. So, mastering the market, in the end, is really an act of mastering yourself. And the question to leave you with is this: what is the market reflecting back at you?